Right now, there is a silent force shaping who rises and who fades into the background, and most people never realize it's happening. They blame bad timing, a weak economy, or endless competition. But underneath all of that exists something deeper, something that determines your worth long before the world ever responds to it. You've likely felt it yourself, that quiet tension of knowing you could be replaced. The unsettling feeling that no matter how much effort you give, someone else could step into your role tomorrow and nothing would change. Few people speak about it openly, yet it quietly influences which opportunities appear in your life and which never arrive. The difficult truth is this: hard work by itself is no longer enough. A person can exhaust themselves with effort and still remain unnoticed if what they provide is ordinary. Yet most people never stop to question this. They continue repeating the same actions, convinced that persistence alone. People never stop to question this. They continue repeating the same actions, convinced that persistence alone will eventually reward them. But the world does not reward what is common. It rewards what is rare. It rewards what is difficult to replicate, what solves problems in a unique way, what stands apart from the predictable. And once this becomes clear, the way you approach your life begins to change completely. Consider why certain individuals seem to grow stronger during uncertain times. While others hesitate, they move forward. While others retreat, they advance. It is not because they are untouched by hardship, but because they have developed something within themselves that the world continuously values. That quality is rarely obvious in the beginning. It does not arrive with immediate praise or visible success. It is built slowly through choices that appear insignificant at first. It is built slowly through choices that appear insignificant at first. This is why most people never stay committed to it. The rewards do not appear quickly enough. Instead, they follow what everyone else is doing. They pursue the same knowledge, the same abilities, the same destinations. Then they wonder why competition feels endless, why they constantly struggle for attention instead of naturally attracting it. Because remaining within what is familiar means remaining within what is crowded, and crowded spaces reduce value. There, a person is no longer measured by what they can contribute, but by how easily they can be replaced. This is the invisible trap that captures most people. Yet, there is another path, one that does not depend on being the loudest or the fastest. It depends on becoming uncommon, on developing a way of thinking, a level of skill, and a perspective that cannot easily be found elsewhere. Once you enter that space, everything begins to shift. You stop hunting for opportunities because your very presence begins creating them. People respond to you differently. They listen more carefully. They value your perspective in ways they never did before. Not because you demanded recognition, but because you became someone impossible to ignore. And this is what most people fail to understand. Rarity is not a gift. It is not something granted at birth. It is something built with intention. It comes from choosing depth over superficiality, long-term growth over temporary comfort, and discipline over endless distraction. But creating that kind of value is uncomfortable in the beginning. It demands patience when nothing seems to happen. It demands focus when every distraction is competing for your attention. It demands commitment when abandoning the process would feel easier. That is why so few people continue long enough to see the transformation. They desire the reward, but resist the process. They want to be recognized as valuable, yet refuse to endure the stage where that value is still invisible. And that is where the separation truly begins. Because those who continue refining themselves when no one is watching eventually become impossible to overlook. Their presence carries influence. Their ideas create results. Their work becomes something others rely upon. Carries influence. Their ideas create results. Their work becomes something others rely upon. And once they reach that position, the rules begin to change. They are no longer controlled by economic conditions. They begin shaping their place within them. They are no longer trapped in overcrowded competition. They operate in a space where far fewer people can follow. So if you have felt overlooked, uncertain, or trapped in the same cycle, understand this. It does not mean you lack potential. It means you have been operating in an environment where your value has not yet been fully expressed. And once you begin shifting toward becoming someone who cannot easily be replaced, you will begin to notice opportunities appearing where none existed before. Not because the world suddenly transformed, but because you did. There exists a principle, unseen yet constantly active, which determines the position of every man long before society yet constantly active, which determines the position of every man long before society reveals its judgment. It is never announced nor written in any visible record, yet it operates with remarkable precision. This principle does not measure how hard a man labors, but the nature of what he provides in exchange for that labor. It is within this distinction that most men unknowingly confine themselves. A man may work tirelessly from sunrise until night, applying immense effort and discipline, and still remain unnoticed. Another man may exert far less visible effort and yet receive increasing recognition and reward. The difference is not found in the amount of labor, but in its character. For the world does not reward effort by itself. It rewards usefulness that cannot easily be replaced. Most men are taught from childhood to place the highest value upon diligence. They are told to work harder, endure longer, and outlast those around them. Though these qualities possess value, they remain incomplete. Effort directed toward what is common can only create common results. It is not the intensity of labor that elevates a man, but the uniqueness of the value he provides. Consider how easily one man may replace another in work that requires no distinctive thought. When tasks can be repeated without variation, the individual performing them becomes interchangeable. And within this interchangeability lies the quiet decline of value. The man does not lose his capability, but he loses his distinction. It is here that many begin to feel something they cannot fully explain, a subtle awareness that despite all their effort, they remain unseen. They sense instability in their position, as though their contribution carries little importance beyond the immediate task. This feeling does not arise without reason. It is the natural consequence of operating in a space where countless others offer the same service in the same manner. Yet few stop long enough to question this reality. Instead, they respond by increasing their effort, believing that more of the same will somehow create a different outcome. They work longer hours, accept heavier burdens, and push themselves beyond exhaustion, all while remaining trapped within the same patterns of thought and action. And by doing so, they strengthen the very condition they wish to escape. For no man can rise above the level of his thinking while the same behaviors that have kept him confined. A man's value only begins to change when he transforms the nature of what he offers, when he begins thinking beyond mere execution, when he seeks not only to perform but to improve, organize, and create. He steps beyond the ordinary and enters the realm of the uncommon. Andrew Carnegie, whose rise from humble beginnings to extraordinary influence has been studied for generations, did not separate himself through labor alone. He learned how to organize knowledge, recognize connections others failed to see, and direct effort in ways that multiplied its impact. His value was not rooted in physical labor, but in the way he guided the efforts of many through understanding. This is the essence of uncommon service. It is not limited to a specific profession, nor reserved for individuals born with extraordinary talent. It is available to any man willing to think differently about his contribution. It begins with a simple shift in thought, from asking, "How much can I do?" to asking, "How can what I do become more useful, more distinct, more necessary?" That single question, pursued honestly, begins reshaping a man's entire development. He no longer seeks to imitate what others are doing. Instead, he searches for improvement. He notices inefficiencies, overlooked opportunities, and weaknesses others ignore. His attention moves beyond participation and toward contribution. At first, these changes may go unnoticed. He may still work in the same environment and perform similar tasks, yet something fundamental within his approach has changed. He is no longer simply completing work. He is shaping it. And this shaping, though subtle in the beginning, marks the birth of greater value. For value rarely appears loudly in its early stages. It develops quietly through repeated refinement, through disciplined thought, and through the willingness to exceed what is expected. It is built during moments when recognition is absent, when effort appears unrewarded, and it is precisely during these moments that most people abandon the process. They seek reassurance that their efforts matter. They search for signs of progress and visible proof that improvement is occurring. When those signs fail to appear, they retreat to what is familiar, believing the new approach has failed. Yet the growth of value does not obey immediate timelines. It accumulates slowly, it strengthens quietly, it prepares itself beneath the surface, and when it reaches a certain point, it becomes undeniable. Others begin noticing a difference, even if they cannot fully explain it. They observe that this man approaches his work with unusual clarity, that his solutions carry greater weight, that his presence influences outcomes beyond the task itself. This recognition is never demanded. It is never forced. It is earned through the consistent application of uncommon thought to ordinary situations. The man who reaches this stage is no longer easily replaced, not because others cannot perform the same tasks, but because they have not learned to approach them in the same way. His thinking becomes his distinction. His approach becomes his advantage, and as that distinction grows, so does his position. He is consulted where others are directed. He is sought where others wait. Through demonstration rather than declaration, he becomes a man of increasing value. It must be understood, however, that such transformation never occurs through one decision alone. It is created through repeated choices. The choice to think when acting mindlessly would be easier. The choice to refine when repeating would feel more comfortable. The choice to grow when remaining unchanged would require less effort. Each of these choices contributes to the creation of a new standard, a standard through which a man measures himself independently from comparison with others. As he continues in this direction, another change begins to emerge. He no longer carries the quiet fear of being replaceable. He no longer questions whether his work possesses meaning. Through experience, cannot easily be duplicated. And this understanding creates a different kind of confidence. Not loud confidence, not attention-seeking confidence, but calm, internal certainty. A certainty grounded in the knowledge that he no longer operates within the boundaries of the ordinary. Sense it. They will notice the intention behind his actions, the clarity in his words, the depth in which he approaches his work. And through that observation, they will begin assigning value where previously none existed. Thus, the man who once felt invisible becomes impossible to overlook, not through force, not through demand, but through the quiet and relentless development of a vision that carries undeniable weight. And so, let the individual understand this clearly. His worth is not determined by how much he does, but by how distinctly he does it. His value is not created by effort alone, but by the nature of the service he provides. And if he wishes to rise beyond the uncertainty of being easily replaced, he must begin not by doing more, but by becoming more through the way he thinks. Let him visible and affirm within himself, I am not measured by effort alone, but by the distinct value through my contribution. I cultivate within myself something that cannot easily be replaced, and through it, I rise. There exists within human nature a tendency so subtle in its beginning that it often escapes notice, yet so powerful in its consequences that it shapes entire lives. It is the tendency to follow, not merely from weakness, but from the desire for certainty, safety, and approval. It leads men to walk where countless others have walked, believing that the most traveled road must also be the most reliable. At first glance, this instinct appears reasonable. For when a man observes others moving in a certain direction, gaining visible success and recognition, he naturally assumes that by copying their actions, he may obtain similar results. Yet he sees only the surface of their success, never the deeper condition. He follows the outcome, but not the process, and in doing so he enters what may be called the crowded path.